بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. We greet you in the month of Rajab with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and with the dua, Allahumma barik lana fi Rajabin wa Shaban wa balighna Ramadan. And we want to use this opportunity while still there are about 6 weeks left before blessed Ramadan, to offer a gentle word in preparation for that Salat or prayer which takes place in Ramadan called Al-Tarawih. Al-Tarawih. And this is a Salat which is performed in the night of Ramadan. And something special that you must know. What happened in the nights of Ramadan is that Allah not only sent down the Quran on the night of Qadr. Inna anzalna ba'da a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. Allah not only sent down the Quran on the night of Qadr, but sent it down to the lowest sama. And from there it came down over 23 years to the heart of the Prophet. Allah's blessing be upon him. But Allah also sent down the Quran another way. He says, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. That the whole Quran was sent down in the month of Ramadan. The whole Quran was sent down in the month of Ramadan. How? Where? When? Every night of Ramadan, Allah would recite the Quran to Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, but he'd do it through the medium of the angel Gabriel, Jibreel alayhi salam. But Allah is reciting. This is what He says in Surah Al-Qiyamah. He is reciting. This is what He says in Surah Al-Qiyamah. And He recited a portion of the Quran every night of Ramadan. And He separated the Quran Himself for the purpose of recitation. He says in Surah Al-Isra, قُرْآنًا فَرَقْنَاهُ لِتَقْرَأَهُ عَلَى النَّاسِ عَلَى مُكْثٍ. That we have divided this Quran for the purpose of recitation over periods of time. So Allah is dividing the Quran for recitation every night of Ramadan. And so on the first, and He does not allow you to subdivide. No, for subdivision you want to memorize the Quran, that's different. When you recite in the Quran in Salat, that's different. But for the recitation of the Quran, to complete the whole Quran, He does not allow you to subdivide. No, you have to recite every surah complete. You cannot leave any surah incomplete. And so on the first night, when you see the moon of Ramadan, on the first night, you have to recite the Surah Al-Fatiha and the whole of Surah Al-Baqarah. And you go to my book, the Quran and the moon, and you'll get all the nights of Ramadan. But the best time to recite for us is, of course, at the time of Fajr, either before Salatul Fajr or after Salatul Fajr. But in addition to our reciting the whole Quran in Ramadan, which is Sunnah, to recite the whole Quran in Ramadan, and of course reciting the Quran in Arabic, not in French, in Arabic. In addition to that, there is a Salatul Tarawih, in which we stand up for Salat in the nights of Ramadan. But someone who has a beautiful voice would recite the Quran. Even if we are few in numbers, still someone who has the most beautiful voice, that person should recite the Quran. and choose passages of the Quran in which the recitation would be long, 4, 5, 6, 8 minutes, okay? And then you either have 8 rakats or you can have 20. Both are correct. Both are correct. But you have to ensure that this is a recitation in which your hearts are with the recitation of the Quran, not mechanical. Al-Tarawih is not a mechanical salat, no. And so Al-Tarawih is a time to cry. A time to cry. If the whole month of Ramadan has passed and you have attended Al-Tarawih in the masjid every night and you never even one drop of tear ever fell from your sky, that is mechanical salat. That's not real Al-Tarawih. You have to understand what is being recited. You have to learn enough Arabic to understand what is being recited. Okay? And when the Quran is being recited in Al-Tarawih, you can't be reciting 3 verses. That is disrespect for the Quran. 3 verses up and down like a chicken eating food. Up and down like a chicken. Have you no shame? Have you no shame? You are disrespecting the book of Allah? No. The Quran must be recited in long passages. It should take 5, 6, 8 minutes in each surah. At the end of 8 rakats, those who want to leave can leave. If those who want to remain for 20, they can remain. But if you're only going to recite short passages, you're disrespecting the Quran. And let me end, before I end, let me mention that our Prophet said that Allah will raise some people with this Quran. And with this Quran, He will lower others. Let me repeat this dua. The Prophet said, it's not a dua, it's a statement. He said that Allah will raise some people with this Quran. And with this Quran, He will lower others. So be careful and don't disrespect the Quran. This is Ramadan that is coming. It might be our last Ramadan. And the Al-Tarawih is a sweet salat. It's a time for tears. And we ask you to choose someone who recites the Quran beautifully, with a beautiful voice, and who will choose long passages. And you must understand what is being recited. If you do not, then you must stop and learn enough Arabic to be able to understand the Quran when it's being recited. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.